Hiya, and welcome back to Homecoming Morenatsu Revisited. The game that teaches us that... I don't know. That this is part 82, I think. I don't know, I can't think of anything. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Nothing beats that. I glance around at my surroundings, admiring how the town looks during sunset. Absently, I take another sip of my soda, relishing the feeling of the cold liquid going down my throat. I should probably be drinking water, considering all the sun I got yesterday. Whatever, healthy stuff is overrated. I swear, it still feels like I'm chest deep in the ocean. My body still feels like it's floating and bobbing as I walk. It kind of freaks out my balance. I guess everyone in town was out having a good time yesterday. As I fruitlessly search for any trash can for my now empty soda bottle, I can't help but notice how quiet Minasato is this evening. Damn. Not that Minasato isn't always quiet. Geez, I've seriously taken the recycle bins in Osaka for granted. Maybe there's somewhere to throw this away in the park. Haha! I lightly toss the bottle from one hand to the other as I walk, listening to the steady hum of the cicadas. A cool breeze billows up the back of my shirt, sending pleasant tingles up my spine. It makes me wonder why Kyoji's team doesn't always practice at this time. Probably because it's getting late. Okay, we're going to hang out with Chiyo, Yukiharu, and Nanafuse. We're going to hang out with them. Ignore the children. They yearn for the Cheetos. Sorry. I give a soft sigh and shake my head slowly, placing the box of raisins back into Chiyo's small hands. Actually, I was just about to go back to my grandparents' house. We had a really big day yesterday, and I'm still feeling tired from it. I'm sorry, Mr. Nishimura. The smile slightly fades from her face as it is replaced with one of sheepishness. Big brother told me about your day at the beach. I understand. I bow my head apologetically and shake my head. I'm sorry, Chiyo. Don't worry about it. I'll tell my brother you said hi, though. Take care on your way home, Mr. Nishimura. Little girl stands up and smooths out her dress and bows, giving me a smile that mirrors Kyoji's. I return the gesture before walking away from the children and past the still sleeping Kyoji. On my way home, I can't help but think about Kyoji and the children. Maybe I should have stayed a little longer. I give a deep sigh and shake my head. It's not too late to think about that now. Okay, before you say anything, yes, I remember that Kyoji's a dog. Yes, I remember his nose. Yes, I remember the outline of his muzzle. I remember that. I finally fucking remember that. I yawn heavily as I flop down onto my bed. It's hard to believe that another day is over. Closing my eyes for a moment, I can't help but smile. Today was a pretty busy day. My eyes opening again, I turn my attention towards the television. You know, now would be the perfect moment if I were to say that I don't actually remember and that it just blew my mind. But I didn't. I actually did remember. So, I swear to God, if my mind is blown, I swear to God, if my mind is blown, I am going to scream. How embarrassing. I can't believe I had such an erotic dream about Kouya. You've been working too hard. I will scream at the top of my lungs. Crap, I shouldn't be thinking about it. I'm just making the situation worse. Ryuki, are you awake, dear? I gulp as my grandmother knocks on the door and calls out to me. Yay, I get a birthday cake. We're just speed running. We might actually finish Kouya's route tonight. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't figured that out yet. Look up an alarm. You can let me go now. Kouya? I release my grip from his shirt and stand up to greet him. What are you doing way out here? You scared me! Don't surprise me like that, Kouya! I wasn't trying to surprise you. Huff, huff. What's up? You looked like you were in pain earlier. I thought I'd check up on you. I sit back down on the bench. Kouya decides to sit right next to me. Oh! I was trying to remember something. I feel like I'm getting old. Yeah, you're old enough now. That's what adults do after all. Gee, thanks. I was hoping you'd be my straight man, you know? Someone to tell me I'm not losing it. Sorry, I'm not very good at being a straight man. Ha! That's rich coming from such a lady killer. You're so cold. Heh. Why are you out in the rain, by the way? I was out shopping. By the time I left the store, it was raining. Thought I'd take a shortcut through the park. And that's when I spotted you under the gazebo. The rest is history. Is that so? You probably saw everything then. I want to die from embarrassment. You alright? It's pretty dumb to be out without an umbrella. Didn't you listen to the weather reports? All the reports I heard said it was going to be clear this morning. Where'd you hear that? Oh, it suddenly hits me. That's what I was trying to remember. Damn it, Grandpa! You said that the weather would be fine today. Grandma even told me to bring an umbrella. That's the last time I listen to you when it comes to weather. Never mind that. You should really check those things before you go out. Kouya shakes his head and lets out a deep sigh. I was thinking that too. But it was clear this morning, right? Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's supposed to stay clear all day. Oh, why can't it just be stable and predictable? That's what we have weathermen for. Stop that. Making me feel super self-conscious right now. Hey. What? You doing anything after this? No, I just need to do some errands for my grandparents, but given the circumstances... I look up at the sky. That gloomy gray doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. What if you had an umbrella? That would be great, but I don't, so... That's fine, because I've got one. Eh? Kouya stands up and shows me his blue umbrella. Why didn't I notice that earlier? That explains why he isn't soaking wet like me. Maybe I am catching a cold. I'm just having one embarrassment after the other today. You certainly are an observant fella, aren't you? I stick my tongue out at Kouya. With a loud thwump, the umbrella opens. It kinda reminds me of a blue flower in bloom. An unusual flower with curled up leaves and no petals, but a flower nonetheless. I'm hit with a sudden flood of memories. It's good that this umbrella is so big. We should both be able to fit under it, no problem. Hiroyuki? I remember coming home from school. It was rainy, just like today. I went to school without an umbrella, even though my mom warned me. I didn't think it was going to get that bad, and I loved playing in the rain as a kid. However, when the school day ended, the sky blackened, rain came pouring down harder than I'd ever seen it before. It was like running through a waterfall. I didn't get far before I had to find shelter. Just like today, I ran to the park and hid under the gazebo. I looked at the sky in despair, trapped under its protective cover. Suddenly, Hey! I return once more to reality. Kouya is gripping my shoulder, trying to get my attention. What's wrong here, Yuki? You spaced out pretty hard. Don't tell me you've already caught a cold. No, I just remembered something from back then. Doesn't help that the memories of my dream choose now to resurface in my mind. What is it? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know the answer. Yeah, we gotta be honest. Hang on, I'm checking something. I'm like keeping an eye on like a bunch of shit right now. Checking something, and okay, the thing is checked. Okay. To be honest, Kouya, I was thinking about that day. Kouya looks at me, a confused expression on his face. With a sigh, I glance down at the ground and shake my head. Back when we were younger, it was a rainy day like this. I was under the same gazebo, soaked from head to tail. The husky listens carefully, and I can see him nodding his head from my peripheral vision when I pause, as a sign for me to continue. I turned back to face him, giving the beginnings of a smile. Then, suddenly, a friend came to help me. He had a blue umbrella and offered to walk me home while sharing the umbrella. Kouya's eyes widen and his face stains a slight rosy color. Oh. Realization seems to set in for him and he rubs his neck. I watch a smile make its way to the husky's face and I can see his tail wagging behind him. I remember that. Kouya feels nostalgic. I see. He smiles wider and wraps an arm around my shoulder, bringing me closer. You needed help here, Yuki. I couldn't just leave you there. It's what friends do. A warm feeling courses through me, and I can feel my tail swishing behind me. Casting my gaze to the side, I give a slight nod. Yeah. My face warming up, Kouya and I journey into town where the husky helps me to complete my errands. After we're done, he walks me back to my grandparents' house, and I can't help but steal a glance, memories floating through my mind. It's the same blackened sky from back then, and that's the same blue umbrella. As I look at Kouya right now, the only thing I can see is that little husky boy looking back at me, smiling. That was the Kouya event. Ah, that's Konosuke's little brother, Yukiharu. Wow, he's sure grown up since I last saw him. You know what? I'm gonna give myself a little reward because I remembered Kyoji's thing and we did Kouya's event.
Oh, you must be Hiroyuki. My brothers told me a lot about you.
And you're Yukiharu, right?
Yup.
I remember when you were this tall. I hold my hand up to my waist.
I'm not a kid anymore. I'm almost in junior high.
Oh. Yeah, I guess so. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yukiharu looks distressed when two voices start yelling at each other down the hall. Listening closely, I recognize them belonging to Konosuke's parents. I don't care! You're always doing this, Hyosuke! Haruo, please, just listen to me for a minute.
Sorry, Mr. Hiroyuki. They've been fighting a lot lately.
He looks at the ground as he starts to grab a broom from the corner. Is Konosuke home, Yuki? He stops cold when I mention his brother's name.
No.
The voices down the hall grow louder again. He snuck out of the house again! The little thing he does locking the doors doesn't fool me! I told him he needs to watch the shop today. We can't keep letting him do this!
You're overreacting, honey. Come on. He's just a teenager right now. It's what teens do, right?
I see. They're arguing about Konosuke.
I don't know where he goes during the day.
Still staring at the floor, he sighs and mumbles softly.
He's always leaving me alone with them!
Geez, poor Yukiharu. What's Konosuke up to that's so important? He needs to learn responsibility. He's almost an adult and yet he still acts this way.
He'll be fine. He's gonna grow out of it. I did, didn't I?
He's just like you. Suddenly, footsteps start clanging down the hall. An older Tanuki woman emerges around the corner.
Hi, Mom.
Yuki, dear. Would you like to join Mommy while she does errands in Kazanari?
Oh, okay.
He looks up to me as if to mutter an apology. Noticing this, Mrs. Kuri glances in my direction. Hiroyuki, I didn't hear you come in. Heard you came back for the summer. She sighs while straightening out her apron. If you're looking for Konosuke, he's not here. That's okay. I'm here too. Practically ignoring me, she grabs her son's hand and leads him to the front door. Bitch! Practically ignoring me, she grabs her son's hand and leads him to the front door.
Bye, Mr. Hiroyuki.
Okay, I'll be back. I will be right back. This is the pause that I was talking about earlier. Okay, I'm right back. Who stole Tatsuki? The two of them disappear behind a wall. Before long, I hear a car engine turn on. Ugh, this is such an awkward feeling. I'm pretty sure I heard some things I'd rather not hear. I turn around when I hear another set of footsteps coming from the hall. A chubby, round tanuki face wearing a baseball cap peers around the corner. Mr. Kuri's probably checking to see if his wife left.
Oh! Apologies, I didn't realize someone was here.
With one hand behind his head, he emerges from the hall and walks behind the counter.
Welcome to...
Taking another look at me, he finally recognizes who I am.
Hiroyuki Nishimura? Is that really you?
Hello, Mr. Kuri. I politely bow and walk up to the counter.
It's good to see you again, son. How long has it been?
About 5 years, sir.
Konosuke said you were in town, but man, I can hardly believe my eyes.
He gives me a big smile as he puffs out his chest with hands on his hips.
So how's all Osaka treating you?
I hate that question. It's going well, I guess. Need I bring up... You know what? We can confirm this. Whether or not he has nipples. Because I'm pretty sure he does. If I remember correctly, he does. So we are going to check, and we are going to make sure. This PC... Jesus Christ, I gotta clean out my computer. 20 gigabytes left. Okay, I'm not gonna focus on that. I am not gonna focus on that. We are going to focus on this. Games, Homecoming. That is a concerning number of screenshots. No, I'm confirming something, whether or not Hyosuke has nipples. So I'm checking right now. This is concerning. Fuck. Haru, Hiro, Kenji, Kono, Kouya, Kuri. Right there, and... Okay. Kuri underscore base underscore A. And come on, Windows. Let's cheer for the laptop. Come on, laptop. He does have nipples. I just confirmed he does have nipples. It's going well, I guess.
I've been down there a few times to pick up parts. It's quite the city, isn't it?
If you say so. I'd rather not show his headless body. Osaka may be where I live now, but I can hardly call it home.
What brings you back to Minasato?
I decided to visit for the month. I wanted to see all my old friends again.
Before you graduate, huh?
He looks at me with concern in his eyes.
I know the feeling. I remember when I first moved out here with my parents. It was so hard to say goodbye to all the friends I made. I ended up doing the same thing you are in my last year of high school.
Really? I don't think I've heard this story before. He scratches underneath his chin.
Yeah, that's when I first fell in love with my wife. There's something magical about that kind of trip, you know?
Huh. He stares off in the distance, clearly losing himself in the memories.
Oh, sorry about that.
Shaking his head, his attention turns to me.
I shouldn't be taking so much of your time like this. Are you looking for Konosuke?
Actually, sir, I was wondering if you could fix something for me. I take off my backpack and place it on the counter. My fan's been broken since I first arrived. I got it working briefly yesterday, but...
broken fan is a terrible thing in the middle of summer.
He winks at me as he lifts the fan out of my backpack.
I'll have it ready for you by this evening, free of charge.
What? No, I couldn't.
Nonsense. It should only take a couple tweaks here and there, nothing that should cost money. Besides, what kind of father would I be charging a friend of his sons like that?
Thanks, Mr. Kuri. He moves the fan onto a shelf behind him, then turns back and leans on the counter. I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't help but overhear your argument earlier. A look of shock crosses Mr. Kuri's face. I think I was just unbothered about it.
What?
He covers his face with his hand, then shakes his head.
We've been having trouble with Konosuke lately.
I'll admit, I kind of wanted to see if he was home, too.
My wife checked his room earlier. I guess he snuck out.
He shrugs.
I've been trying to figure out what he's up to, but so far I've got nothing. You've been hanging out together, right? Do you know anything?
Sorry, I'm just as confused as you are. He grows quiet as he looks down at the floor.
Hmm.
An idea seems to pop into his head. He closes his eyes and gives me a thumbs up.
Hiroyuki, can I ask you a big favor?
Just work on the counter, Mr. Kuri, while we're under the counter to pay you back. What are we doing? Sweeping under the counter? I know that look. It's the same one Konosuke gets when he's up to something mischievous.
I've never been really comfortable snooping around in my son's room. But you two are best friends, aren't you? There's no way he'd ever hate you for that. Could you take a look around Konosuke's room for me?
Wow, he's right. That is a big favor he's asking. Mr. Kuri, I just realized that my hair is tied in a ponytail, so I'm taking it down. Yeah, yes, my hair's that long. Mr. Kuri. He holds both his hands together and slightly bows his head. Please! Why does this feel familiar? At that exact moment, I hear the front door slide open behind me. Oh, it's a bitch! An older-looking husky walks into the shop. I never saw him much, but I'm pretty sure that's Kouya's dad. Hang on, what was his voice? What was Mr. Altsuki's voice? I can't remember what his voice was. Activating self-destruct sequence. You know what? Anyone can decide his voice. Anyone can decide his voice right fucking now. First person to say something, that is his voice. First one to say what the voice is. A deep, evil, but hot-ass man voice. Okay. Is this a bad time, Yosuke? Mr. Kuri breaks out of his pleading stance in a hurry and tries to regain composure.
Mitsuhisa, what a surprise.
He walks up to the counter and gives me a sidelong glance. He places a large guitar-shaped container in front of us. I need to have this repaired.
Of course, no problem. Just give me one moment, please.
Mr. Kuri walks into the hall and waits for me to follow him. Once again, he bows his head and starts begging. Please, Hiroyuki, you've got to help me out here. I am desperate. I have no idea what's wrong with my son. It's starting to scare me. His voice quivers a bit at the end. You're asking for a major violation of trust, Mr. Kuri. I'm pretty sure we already did Kouya's event. Yeah, we did Kouya's event already. Because, like, that was the gazebo. I'm pretty sure the gazebo was Kouya's event. Pretty sure he doesn't have another event on the 10th. I know! Woohoo! His shoulders fall as he starts walking back into the shop. Run back through my memories so far. Huh. The more I think about it, the more I realize something's been off about Konosuke's behavior. I know he's been acting like his usual self, but I can't help but feel there's something more going on beneath the surface. He's so distant lately. Mr. Kuri? He stops and looks back at me. I'll do it. If anyone knows, where is Konosuke's laundry located in his room? Where is it located? I need to know for research purposes. Yeah, I need to know for research purposes. Where is it? I'll do it.
You will?
Yeah. You're right. There's something wrong and I want to help figure it out. A look of sheer relief passes over Mr. Curry's face, and then he starts jumping up and down.
Thank you, thank you, thank you!
He grabs my hands and starts shaking them. Research purposes, Cap? I might have an ulterior motive. He grabs my hands and starts shaking them.
This means a lot. Here, this should unlock his bedroom door.
Is there a place I can clone keys? I need to know for research purposes. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Mr. Curry reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small metal key.
Try not to make a mess, okay? I don't want him thinking his mother and I were snooping around.
But you are, aren't you?
Correction.
He points a finger at me.
You are.
Bitch. Make a mess? Okay. With that, he disappears around the corner. Great. What have I gotten myself into? We all know the real reason why I'm trying to get into his room. Tanuki on the prowl. Obviously. I'm going to steal his underwear. Wait, what? Carefully make my way into Konosuke's room. Wow, this is super nostalgic. I haven't been in here since I moved away. We used to hang out all the time playing computer games and reading manga together. I shake my head. There's no time to reminisce. I've got work to do. Now, where should I look? Where's his laundry? Is it in the walls? Do I need to rip the wallpaper off? 'Cause I fucking will. The judge, jury, and executioner? At most, this is a misdemeanor. Okay. At most, this is a misdemeanor and a first offense. This is, in fact, not breaking and entering because we're already on the property and we have permission from the property owner. So, we're fucking good on that regard. This isn't breaking and entering. As for stealing his clothes, as long as we keep it under 1,000 US dollars, it is not a felony. Yes, I read my state laws. Yes, I read some federal law. As long as we keep it under 1,000 US dollars, it is a misdemeanor, not a felony. The most laws that I'm familiar with are copyright laws. We're gonna look in his closet. I should check his closet. Well, I don't know what I expected. There's nothing but Konosuke's clothes in there. I'm gonna steal them. Where do teenage boys usually hide things? Well, I know I'd hide stuff under my mattress. Maybe he has something under his? Nothing. That's kind of surprising, actually. Then break the depression. Exactly. Girly, I'm aware what my rights are. They hide stuff in their ass. That's kind of surprising, actually. Guess he's not that predictable. Oh no, I actually do. I see a couple of small packages laying next to a computer monitor. Getting closer, notice several stacks of photos. Huh, I think a few of these are from the test of courage we did the other day. Other than that, I don't see anything of interest. I walk into the center of the room and fold my arms. Ugh, this isn't working out! I can't find anything! I look back at his desk. I realize I didn't try checking his drawers for anything. Grabbing his chair, I take a seat and start exploring. I open the top drawer. Huh. I see a stack of photos on top of a series of nature magazines. Hey, some of these are pretty good. I'm startled by the sound of rustling bushes outside Konosuke's window. Now it sounds like someone's fiddling with the lock. Crap! It's him! Ah! He's gonna find me sitting in his room! I need to get out of here! I quickly, but carefully, put the photos I'm looking at back in the drawer and close it. I'm able to slip out of his bedroom door before I hear the window slide open. Whew! With a quiet turn of the key, Konosuke's room is once again locked, leaving everything exactly the way it was before I entered. I'm lucky I kept the blinds down, or else I probably would have been caught. Now to find Mr. Furry. Hang on, I gotta fix my mic. Okay, mic is fixed. As I walk back into the shop, I notice Mr. Atsuki is still here. I trust my instincts were clear.
Of course, Mitsuhisa, it's in good hands.
Then I shall take my leave. With a bow, Mr. Atsuki turns and leaves through the front door. Mr. Furry folds his arms in sighs.
That guy is intense.
He notices me walking out from the hall as he puts the guitar case behind the counter.
Oh, Hiroyuki, did you find anything?
I'm sorry, sir. I shake my head. I doubt what he's looking for is some pictures in Konosuke's drawer. He looks down at the floor in disappointment. We're both snapped out of it when we hear Konosuke's door unlock.
Quick, act natural!
I dash around to the other side of the counter and start acting like I'm talking to Mr. Furry.
So tell me a bit more about this fan of yours.
Haha, Hiroyuki? I didn't know you were here. Why didn't anyone try to tell me? There you are, Konosuke.
We did. You must have been asleep, son. Oh!
That's right! I guess I dozed off listening to the rain outside. I look at Mr. Furry. His expression tells me he's thinking the same thing I am. What a liar. What you doing here on a rainy day? My fan's been broken since I arrived. I figured now's as good a time as any to get it fixed since your dad's back in town.
It's gonna take some time to fix up, though.
Ah. In that case, did you want to hang out today, Hiroyuki? I could show you some of the games on my computer. Or we could check out my manga collection.
Well, I wanted you to watch the store for a bit, son, but since Hiroyuki's only visiting for a short time...
He smiles at both of us.
You boys have fun, alright?
Mr. Furry, being the permissive parent he is, lets Konosuke get away with it. Thanks, Dad.
Hiroyuki, I should have your fan fixed by this evening. Does that sound okay?
That'll be perfect, Mr. Furry. Thank you so much for doing this. Come on, Hiroyuki, let me show you around my room. My eyes eat with Mr. Furry's as I round the corner with his son. He nods at me. I end up spending the rest of the day hanging out with Konosuke. Too chicken to ask him what he was doing all morning. You say that like it's a bad thing. Okay, are we hanging out with Shun? In like an hour, the one poll that I did is going to be done. You know what? We're going to join him. As tired as I am, I can't just say no to him. Not like that's anything new. Sure. I flash him a wink, earning a wider smile for my efforts. The two of us make our way towards Tatsuki's house. During our walk, Shun and I chat about nothing in particular. However, I can't help but wondering, just what the hell is going on with this family? As we arrive at the Midoriya residence, we are greeted by none other than Tatsuki. However, before he could even say anything, we were suddenly distracted with something completely unrelated. You know, I've been thinking about changing my character class.
This late in the campaign? You mean you have to start from base stats with whatever you pick, with whatever class pick you, right?
Seriously, what kind of cheapskate roll is that, huh? At Tatsuki's outburst, Shun folds his arms across his chest and gives a wide grin.
The kind that keeps campaigns going, I guess. After all, if everyone just kept changing classes in the middle of a game, we'd never get a single one finished.
But I didn't know the Beastmaster was even a class I could choose. Gus needs a little brother. Shun chuckles and shakes his head in amusement.
You do realize that the Beastmaster class has minimal health points, right?
A scowl appears on the dragon's face as Shun explains. He folds his own large arms across his chest and gives a loud snort.
Who cares about that? Especially when I can ride into battle on a unicorn.
You know, when you put it that way...
Wolf gives an embarrassed chuckle, his cheeks going a soft pink as he rubs the back of his head.
I hadn't considered putting unicorns in the campaign.
She'll be the prettiest of all, with white fur and a gold and silver mane. Tatsuki seems to get more and more excited as he lists off his potential new unicorn's features. His unicorn.
Well, if you don't mind losing all your current stats, I suppose you could put together a character sheet for you.
I'll start drawing her right now. Her name is Moondancer, and I found her while hunting by the River of Embers.
As Tatsuki runs off, Shun's expression changes to one of surprise.
Tatsuki, wait!
Shaking my head, I give a bemused sigh. Don't worry, Shun. I'll go get him. Thankfully, I'm able to catch up to Tatsuki and get him to put his plans on hold. I won't pretend to understand what they were talking about, but regardless, Shun and I are here for a reason. I flash Shun a triumphant grin as Tatsuki and I return outside. So, Shun was here for something important, weren't you?
Yeah, it's just a bit dull.
Tatsuki shakes his head and smiles down at the wolf. Well, what can I do for you, little buddy? I have to fight back a snicker as I see Shun trying not to scowl.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Anyway, I was coming to double check that the Yagura for the Bond Festival is still in good shape.
The dragon raises his brows as he scratches his cheek. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that. I remain silent, not wanting to admit that I had almost forgotten about it, too. The Yagura was always the centerpiece of the Bond Festival. I remember how we had replaced a few boards for it last year, but then again, what can you expect with something built to be set up only to be torn down again?
Yeah. I don't understand why Dad just won't contract you guys to build a permanent one next to the shrine.
Tatsuki simply shrugs and leans closer to us, cupping a hand next to his mouth. Well, you know how old folks are. Everything's their way or the highway. Shun gives me a look that I return with an exaggerated grimace.
So it would seem.
As the three of us share an awkward silence, it's suddenly broken as Tatsuki stands back up and clears his throat. Oh, by the way, Miles been working on that thing for you. Did you want to go check it out while I track down the Yagura? Wolf hesitates for a moment before finally nodding.
Sure, I would appreciate it, Tatsuki.
His shoulders seem to deflate as the dragon heads around the far wall and disappears.
Well, I'd better get this over with.
Is this about the shoulder padding? Shun's face contorts with disgust and he shudders.
Ugh, don't say it out loud. Look, Mrs. Midoriya is really nice, so I don't want her to feel bad about this.
Shoving his hands into his pockets, he forces a smile onto his face.
You can go and hang out with Tatsuki if you like. After all, this may take a bit of time.
I cast a glance over in the direction the big dragon went, weighing up my options. To be honest, I'm not sure that Shun is really in the best mood at the moment. On the other hand, Tatsuki would probably appreciate the help. Are we hanging out with Tatsuki or Shun? I actually think I already know the answer. As much as I want to stay with Shun, it's clear he would rather be alone now. I give him an apologetic smile. Okay, but if you need anything, don't hesitate to call for me. The wolf gives a slight nod before disappearing into the next room to find Mrs. Midoriya. With a sigh, I begin my search for Tatsuki. Also because I want to see Tape. Doesn't take me long to get hopelessly lost. I forgot just how big this house really is. I want to see Tape and maybe Tetsuya. If he's here. I doubt he is, but maybe if he's here. Damn it! Just as I'm about to lose all hope, I hear Tatsuki's unmistakable voice. Walking in the direction his voice came from, I finally find him. Ugh, this thing is such a pain in the ass! The dragon appears to be wrestling with a large bundle of red and white striped fabric. Nearby, there are a whole bunch of wooden pylons lying on the ground. Is everything okay, Tatsuki?
What?
What was that? Fanfic will never be real? Okay. The big lug turns around in surprise as he hears his name. Upon recognizing me, he regains his composure and smiles. Here, Ryuki? I thought you were with Shun. Yeah, but he told me to come help you search for the Yagura since you'll probably take a while. Judging by the look of it, though, I'd say you found it already. I gesture towards the mess on the floor behind him. He glances over his shoulder and nods. Yeah, but the damn thing is so annoying. It just... ugh. To top it off, I need to double check to make sure everything is there. As Tatsuki gives the disassembled Yagura a look of contempt, I smile and shake my head. He really is such a silly dragon. Well, did you want some help?
Huh?
A look of confusion comes over the dragon's face, leading me to grin. My tail swishes behind me as I look up at him and repeat my offer. Do you want some help, Tatsuki? That'd be great. Tatsuki nods, a wide smile on his face. That moment, I can't help but think that he looks very handsome. Pushing those thoughts out of my mind, I move towards the mess of pylons to help the dragon with his task. There, that's everything. Tatsuki stares proudly down at the now neatly arranged Yagura components. I can't help but smile up at the big lug, my tail swishing happily behind me. I didn't realize just how much went into building one of these things, but at least we got it done. The dragon glances down at me, nodding in agreement. Yeah. The two of us remain quiet, just enjoying each other's company. Hi, Hiroyuki. The momentarily silence broken, I glance up at Tatsuki once more. Thanks for the help. Tatsuki appreciates your support. A deep shade of red appearing on the dragon's face, he glances away shyly. This would have probably taken me much longer, so... As the sentence trails off, I reach a hand out and place it on his arm. With a smile, I swish my tail happily. Anytime. He looks back at me, his goofy smile fading along with his blush. Looks as if he's trying to think of something, but before I can ask, he interrupts me by clearing his throat. You should go check up on Shun. I have something I need to do. Oh, do you need help with something else? No, I'm fine. I'll see you later, Hiroyuki. I give Tatsuki's arm a gentle squeeze before heading out of the room to find Shun. I catch up with the wolf just as he finishes putting on his jacket. Just as we notice each other, we hear drumming sounds coming from a nearby room. Our curiosity gets the better of us, and we go to investigate the source of the mysterious sound. That could not have been more perfect. My computer lagged right as he hit the drum, and that was perfect. Shun and I watch in silence as Tatsuki remains standing in front of a battered old drum. He's totally focused on his rhythmic drumming and doesn't seem to realize our presence. What are you doing? The dragon's surprised yell is so loud it makes me wince. Don't tell them I'm lonely. I flatten my ears against my head and shrink back. As he glances over in my direction, he finally notices that he has an audience. Tatsuki throws a half-hearted glare at me. Don't sneak up on me like that! You're interrupting something super spiritual here. I was going to skip this. Yeah, that's what's happening. No, we can't do the Akagane event. Unfortunately, we can't do the Akagane event because it's grandma time. Giving a heavy sigh, I rub the back of my head. I don't really want to let my old teacher down, but I did just make plans with grandma. What kind of person would I be if I canceled right after making plans? Sorry, Grandpa. I already told Grandma that I'd spend some time with her. He goes quiet, and for a moment, I feel like he's about to scold me for being lazy. However, a smile quickly crosses his face, and he nods. I understand, Hiroyuki. I'll let Botan know. Go spend time with your grandmother. I smile back and give a deep bow before rushing back to the kitchen. Grandpa returns to his phone call. I can hear him telling Mr. Akagane that I'd already made plans. I do feel a bit guilty, but at the same time, I've been intrigued by the book Grandma wanted to show me. Now's as good a time as any! The book turns out to contain photos from my youth. Grandma enthusiastically explains each photo. Feelings of nostalgia rush through me, and I'm glad that I took the time to relive these memories. And we immediately have chores. Shun's house or the bus stop? Ew. Just... Ew. Okay. Welcome, adventurer, to the ancient realm of Idoraya. For millennia, its citizens had known nothing but peace and prosperity, but this was not to last. The once peaceful land was besieged by demons from the darkness. Many brave knights took up arms in a valiant attempt to defend the land from this new menace. Unfortunately, neither side was prepared to yield to the other, and the world was thrown into chaos. Finally, after a war that lasted over 30 years, the demons returned to their dark world. Once again, peace reigned in Idoraya, but this peace was fleeting, and after barely 10 years, the demons unleashed their vengeance. Using their dark magics, they sought to destroy every living creature throughout the realm. This time, the citizens of Idoraya were unprepared for the relentless power they faced. With almost all hope lost, a band of heroes rose up to fight, ancient practitioners of holy magics. Their trials were brutal and demanding, but throughout all their tribulations, they fought their way into the demon realm. As darkness and light clashed for ultimate dominance, the heroes finally succeeded in defeating the Demon King. Unfortunately, they were unable to completely destroy him, so they focused on a new target. With their divine power, they destroyed the link between Idoraya and the demon realm, sacrificing their souls in the process. Without an entrance to the light, the demons were sealed within their realm, and peace once again reigned throughout the land. To honor the heroes' sacrifice, a temple was built at the place they entered the demon realm. 2 centuries have passed since, and the heroes' tales have been passed down in legend. Near the small village in Pai Rat, mysterious ruins have been uncovered. What they hold yet remains a mystery. A new legend is about to unfold. Do you have the courage and
Large avocados.
to endure it? Please place your
Large avocados.
into the bagging area.
Oh, I guess there wasn't a Kouya event today. Sad. Okay, are we hanging out with Konosuke or telling him to fuck off? Okay. I take a moment to consider my options, but after one more glance at Shin, I know what I need to do. After all, I am running errands. I should get these groceries home. Sorry, Konosuke, I'm leaving too. I was doing errands after all. Oh, okay then. He looks at me with puppy dog eyes, but surprisingly, I seem to be immune to them, to their effect. Clearing my throat, I start to pull my wallet out of my pocket. How much do I owe you for the whetstone? The Tanuki holds a hand out and shakes his head. Don't worry about it, I'll put it down on your grandmother's tab. If you say so. Shin turns and gives a wave, beckoning for me to follow. See you later. Later, Konosuke. Bye. Ugh. I walk alongside Shin through the rainy countryside. With nobody else around, our trip back home is nice and quiet. I whip my head to the side, staring at the cat in confusion. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. That was a line I read in a book the other day. It means if it's raining on Friday, it'll probably rain on Sunday too. He gives me a sheepish smile, his tail flicking behind him. Try to make sense of what he said, only to fail spectacularly. Okay, I give. What's that supposed to mean? Honestly... Shin shrugs nonchalantly and continues walking with a graceful stride. I thought it sounded like a foreign proverb. The protagonist mutters it to himself in the last line of the book. It's kind of depressing now that I think about it. Shin says something depressing like that seems very fitting.
Well, at least the crops are getting water, right? Yeah. It's not that I don't like the rain. I just don't like getting wet. I nod, remembering my earlier run-in with today's weather. Still, as we approach the crossroads, an idea comes to mind. Hey, Shin. Stopping for a moment, I rub the back of my head with my free hand. The cat also stops upon realizing that I'm no longer beside him. What is it? I take a deep breath and use his blunt question as a push to continue. Would it be alright if I walked you home? Shin looks at me in pure shock, clearly not expecting me to have asked such a question. His expression changes, now looking cautious. You asked me that the other day. If you want, you can. A soft pinkness appears on the cat's face. Glancing away shyly, he nods his head. Thank you, Hiroyuki. I smile at him and the two of us start walking to the path that leads to his house. No words are exchanged for the entirety of our journey, but that's fine with me. We can still enjoy each other's company without words. It doesn't take us long before Shin and I arrive at his house. A feeling of disappointment washes over me like a tidal wave. Glancing over at Shin, I can see he seems to be in a better mood. Well, I guess this is it. Yeah. The cat meets my stare with his own, folding his arms over his chest. He closes his eyes and smiles. Once again, his cheeks are soft pink. Thanks again, Hiroyuki. It was fun. A surge of happiness flowing through me, I return his smile. It's nice seeing him like this. No problem, Shin. I'm more than happy to. I bet you are. The two of us share a laugh, something which is rare for him. I only hope it's something we can share more often. Suddenly, the cat glances up at the sky as the rain slowly starts to get heavier. Well, I'll be going inside now. You'd best better hurry home, Hiroyuki. You don't want the weather to spoil those groceries. Breathing a heavy sigh, I nod, giving my friend a respectful bow. Bye, Shin. Bye. He quickly returns a bow before running inside. I turn away from the cat's house and begin walking home. Not long after, the rain turns into a downpour. I rush home as fast as I can. I'd rather not break another umbrella. However, even with the umbrella, my lower half is soaking wet. Not again. As I walk into the house and dry myself off, I suddenly remember that I forgot something. Crap, the extension cords! In my mind, I can almost hear Shin laughing at my stupidity. You're hopeless, aren't you? Is this a date ambient? I curl up under the covers of my futon in an attempt to keep warm. Ugh! Breathing out a heavy sigh, I sit up and glance around the dark room. I don't know why I'm even looking. The room doesn't look any different from earlier. As I settle back down and get comfortable, I can't help but recall the day in my mind. It's still so surreal to me. My eyelids start to get heavy, especially now that I'm comfortable. With a heavy yawn, I rest my head on my pillow and close my eyes. Homecoming, Morenatsu Revisited. August 12th. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Stay safe. Have a good night. And I will see you all tomorrow.